Close your eyes for a moment and step back to Britain in the 1970s. A world before smartphones, before contactless payments, when the jingle of coins in your pocket felt like real power. A single pound could fill your shopping bag, brighten your weekend, or treat the whole family. The streets hummed with the chatter of neighbours, shopkeepers called out from behind wooden counters, and every purchase, from sweets to a pint of milk, came with a smile and a paper receipt. Money had weight, value had meaning. The air smelled of fresh bread, petrol, and optimism. Children ran to the corner shop clutching a crumpled note, already tasting the sherbet fountains they'd soon unwrap. Adults, too, found joy in small things: a pub pint, a bus ride to the seaside, or a new record spinning under the needle. Today, a pound barely buys a chocolate bar, but back then, it was a ticket to simple pleasures, to laughter, comfort, and the little luxuries of daily life. So, let's turn the clock back and remember 15 everyday things you could buy for just £1 in 1970s Britain, from number 15 down to the unforgettable number 1. And if you remember those days, or wish you could have lived them, make sure you subscribe to Britain Rewind, because in our every video, we open another window into the Britain that shaped us. Number 15. A week's worth of bread and milk, warm crusts, clinking bottles, and the rhythm of everyday life. In the 1970s, one chalk could stock your kitchen with the basics: several loaves of bread and a week's supply of milk, delivered right to your doorstep. You'd wake to the gentle clink of glass bottles outside, the milkman's early morning call. Bread smelled freshly baked, soft in the middle, crisp on the outside. For most families, this simple combination was the heartbeat of breakfast time. There was something reassuring about knowing your essentials didn't cost a fortune. The kitchen table was always full. Buttered toast for the kids, milky tea for mum, and a smile to start the day. Back then, $1 kept the morning warm. Number 14. A fish and chips dinner for 2. Salt on your fingers, laughter in the air. The chippy was more than a meal, it was an event. For just £1, you and your partner could share a steaming parcel of golden fish and thick-cut chips, wrapped in yesterday's newspaper. The smell of vinegar and fried batter filled the seaside air. You'd sit on a bench by the promenade, gulls circling above, the sound of the waves blending with chatter and laughter. No one checked phones or rushed away. You savoured it, every bite, every salty finger, every moment. Because sometimes happiness really did come wrapped in paper. Number 13. A cinema ticket, plus popcorn. Big screens, small prices, and pure magic in the dark. A single £1 in the 1970s could buy you entry to the local cinema. With change for a small tub of popcorn, you'd queue under a glowing marquee, hand over your coin, and step into another world. The velvet seats creaked, the lights dimmed, and for a couple of hours, reality paused. Whether it was Jaws, Star Wars, or a James Bond adventure, the cinema was escape, shared with strangers who gasped and cheered beside you. It wasn't about luxury, it was about wonder. And wonder in those days only cost £1. Number 12. A vinyl single from Woolworths. The crackle, the sleeve, the soundtrack of youth. Pop music ruled the decade, and for £1, you could walk out of Woolworths with the latest 7-inch single. The racks were a rainbow of glossy covers: Bowie, ABBA, The Clash, Elton John. You'd rush home, slide the record from its sleeve, and drop the needle with care. That first crackle before the song began felt electric. You didn't stream it, you owned it. Every record carried a memory. Your first crush, your first heartbreak, your first dance. Music cost £1, but meant everything. Number 11. A pint and a packet of crisps. The hum of voices, the warmth of the local. Back then, the pub was the heart of the community. For £1, you could buy a pint of bitter and still have enough left for a packet of crisps. You'd step through the door and be greeted by the smell of smoke, beer, and laughter. Locals leaned on the bar sharing stories. Darts thudded in the corner. There were no flashing screens, just conversation and connection. It wasn't just a drink, it was belonging. And belonging, it turned out, cost about £1. Number 10, a bus ride across town and back, tickets punched, windows down, wind in your hair. £1 could take you across town and back, twice over. You'd hand your fare to the conductor, hear the satisfying click-click of the ticket machine, and settle into the cracked leather seats. Through the window, Britain rolled by, red post boxes, corner shops, terraced streets. Children waved from the pavements, and you waved back. Public transport wasn't a luxury, it was life in motion, a shared rhythm, a moving snapshot of everyday people on their way to somewhere. One coin, endless stories. Number 9, a box of Quality Street or roses. Tin lids opening, families gathering, colours gleaming. When the holidays rolled around, £1 could buy you a box of Quality Street or roses, the kind that sat proudly on every coffee table come Christmas. Each sweet was a small treasure, shiny wrappers catching the fairy lights, kids arguing over their favourites. The smell of caramel and chocolate filled the living room. Those tins weren't just treats, they were tradition. You'd save the tin afterward, maybe for buttons, maybe for sewing needles, but mostly for memories. Sweetness lasted long after the chocolates were gone. Number 8, a Saturday matinee at the local theatre. Curtains rising, laughter echoing, dreams alive. For around £1, children could enjoy the weekend matinee, pantomimes, variety shows, or local performances filled with song and slapstick. The theatre buzzed with excitement. Parents chatted in the aisles while kids waved paper programs and clutched bags of sherbet lemons. The stage lights glowed like magic. Every performance felt grand, even in small town halls. It wasn't about fame. It was about imagination, community, and laughter. For just £1, we believed in make-believe. Number 7, a new board game or toy from Argos. Shiny boxes, endless afternoons. Argos catalogues were childhood dreams printed on glossy paper. For about £1, you could bring home a new toy, maybe a board game, a puzzle, or a set of Matchbox cars. Rainy afternoons turned into tournaments and laughter around the carpet. Monopoly battles stretched for hours, and family arguments over who cheated became part of the fun. There was no Wi-Fi, no screens, just dice, imagination, and company. Joy didn't need batteries, just £1 and a rainy day. Number 6, a full tank of petrol for the moped. Freedom on 2 wheels, wind in your face. For the teenagers of the 70s, nothing said freedom like a moped, and a single £1 could fill the tank. You'd roar through town with your jacket collar up, hair flying, and a cassette of The Who playing in your head. Petrol stations were simpler too. A friendly attendant, a quick chat, a nod of thanks. You didn't need a fortune to feel alive. It was youth distilled into motion, freedom for a fleeting moment. Cost just £1. Number 5, a family ticket to the local swimming baths. Chlorine, laughter, and echoes of summer. Files could buy admission for the whole family to the public baths, a weekend treat that everyone looked forward to. The smell of chlorine hit you first, then the splash of water, the echo of laughter bouncing off tiled walls. Parents swam slow laps while kids cannonballed into the deep end. Afterwards came the ritual of chips on the way home, wrapped in greasy paper. It was simple joy, clean, cool, communal. Memories that still ripple decades later. Number 4, a family Sunday roast. The table set, the gravy rich, and the wheat complete. For one, you could buy enough meat, potatoes, and vegetables to serve a proper Sunday roast. The kitchen filled with warmth, the sound of the oven door, the smell of roasting beef, the chatter of family gathering round. It wasn't just about food, it was about rhythm. Sunday meant togetherness, stories, and that final spoonful of gravy before naps on the sofa. It was Britain at its most comforting, hearty, humble, and human. £1, one table, one memory that never fades. Number 3, a pair of flared jeans or a new shirt. Style stitched in every seam. Fashion in the 70s was bold, fun, and unafraid. With a pound in your pocket, you could walk into C&A or the local market and leave with a pair of flared jeans or a patterned shirt that screamed disco night. Clothes weren't disposable then. They were worn, repaired, and lived in. Every patch and fade told a story. Dressing up wasn't about brands or trends. It was about confidence and a bit of swagger. You didn't need money to have style, just a pound and a smile. Number 2, a day trip to the seaside. Sand between your toes, pennies in the arcade. A pound could cover train fare, a cone of chips, and a few rounds on the slot machines at the pier. The British seaside was a wonderland. Donkey rides, candy floss, the smell of salt and sun lotion. You'd watch the waves crash while holding hands, pockets full of shells and memories. It didn't matter if it rained, it often did. That was part of the charm. For just a pound, the sea felt like it belonged to everyone. Number 1. A week's worth of groceries for a small family. Full cupboards, full hearts. At the top of the list, the most incredible of all, a single pound could once fill a shopping trolley. Tea, sugar, butter, eggs, vegetables, bread, even a bit of meat. You'd push your trolley through aisles of tins and packets, confident you'd come home with everything you needed. It wasn't about abundance. It was about balance, fairness, and gratitude. Every meal felt earned, every bite appreciated. In those days, thrift wasn't struggle, it was pride. Because value wasn't just what you spent, it was how it made you feel. 15 things, 15 small wonders of the 1970s. Each one a reminder of a Britain built on community, simplicity, and value. Bread and milk that began each day, fish and chips that ended it with laughter, music that defined a generation, and petrol that powered its dreams. Theatre, toys, and Sunday roasts, moments that stitched the country together in quiet harmony. A pound note was never just paper. It was trust, it was possibility. It carried weight, not in its price, but in its purpose. Today, we chase convenience, tap cards, and scroll past moments. But somewhere deep down, we still long for that slower rhythm, when joy came cheap and time felt endless. The 1970s taught us that value isn't measured in money, but in memory. In the laughter shared over chips, the music spun on vinyl, the warmth of family gathered round the table. Because £1 once bought so much more than things, it bought life. Thank you for watching Britain Rewind. If these memories warmed your heart, give this video a like, share it with someone who remembers, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys through the Britain we'll never forget. Until next time, keep remembering, keep smiling, and keep Britain rewinding.